Well, there's my shuttle ride leaving. It's dropping me off here alongside the highway. This is it, final 100 miles through the new Water Mountains and the Kofa Wilderness. So I'm going to start this section with an off-trail trek across the open desert here, and then reach that hill leading up to the top of the mesa there, and that's called Black Mesa. And I always got to laugh when you get dropped back off a place like this, driving down the highway. I said, hey man, you could just stop right here. He's like, what do you mean right here? There's nothing here. And I was like, yeah, I know, but I'm just going to be walking out through the desert there. And just the look on his face. And so the night I got into town, it actually rained a fair amount. Most on this trip so far is more than sprinkles. For this region, as dry as it is, any little bit helps. And so my original plan for this route was to actually take a road on the other side of this ridgeline here as the approach to get up to the mesa up there. But of course, when I got to the highway, my eyes said, you know what? This route directly to the notch behind these trees here, leading up to the mesa, you know, appears to be shorter. So that's what I did. And I think it's going to shave off, you know, a couple miles. But decisions like that are pretty much at the core of the lessons I've learned from this trip. It's really advanced my skill set, I think. I feel a lot more comfortable just kind of coming out here and to some extent really just winging it, you know. Got a basic line on the map, but once you get out here, really you just follow what your eyes and your heart tell you, you know. Bighorn sheep just ran away. First bighorn I've seen since Nevada. Where you at there, bighorny? Show yourself. And now I'm approaching I wouldn't say the top of the mesa, but the saddle below the final approach to it. And now it is getting narrow, and thick. And the wash is getting pretty hard to walk now, so I think at this point I'm gonna head up the hill a little bit. Now the real climb begins. The pack is heavy this time too, 6 liters of water and 7 days of food. If you go walk the top of this ridgeline, this whole thing is just covered in cholla balls. Yeah, it's just crazy. A little bit of a road up here leads up to a mine, and then that is the route up to the top of the mesa, right up that little canyon. And I've just entered the new Water Mountains Wilderness. I'll be here for 2 or 3 days and then enter the Kofa Wilderness. And this here is Black Mesa Mine. This is where I'm going to take my lunch break so I can sit here and look for rocks while I eat. Nothing beats town food out in the wilderness. And these are all guarded by thorn bushes too. Can't even get past these initial thorn bushes. Shirt's gonna be on its last leg by the end of this trip, that's for sure. Oh, got a little broom kind of thing here. Kind of makes sense. Yeah, look at it. Broom's all eaten away. You kind of see why they were digging here, you know, it's mineralized. It's definitely, you know, leads you to believe that there's something more interesting here. Now, one of the interesting things about mines like this is just how loose this rock is. You know, you can just pull this off with your hands. And the reason why this loose, crumbly rock harbors all these different minerals and stuff is just because it creates weaknesses and cracks and, you know, little fissures and things for mineralized fluids to seep into. So when it's crumbly, it just provides a necessary environment for those minerals to grow. You can kind of see a red, orange, metallic kind of luster. Never seen that. So I'm going to take this sample with me and do a little research when I get home, try and figure out what it is. I spent quite a bit of time at the mine. Now I got to work my way up this canyon, get to the top of this mesa. Oh, big hole there. Oh, I almost took my shoe off on that one. Well, here's the high point of the mesa. It's looking out into the Kofa Wilderness, where I'm ultimately heading. For now, I'm headed this way down the mesa, and then tomorrow over to the new Water Mountain range right there. I'll walk that and then work my way back to Kofa. 2.5 hours before darkness. But this would be a decent spot to camp up on the top if one so desired. I was just hoping it'd be a little bit more easy going up here. It's really this big obstacle course. Step over a rock, dodge a cactus, hopefully dodge a cactus. So the mesa I'm on is actually separate from this mesa. From further away it looks like one mesa, but now you can see the big gap between the two of them. And the side I am on is the steepest descent. It's actually a little bit more manageable on this side. This all looks super steep. And now I'm just trying to figure out not only where I'm gonna get down in this thing, but whether or not I'm gonna go up to the next mesa or just drop down here in this saddle. Oh, thorn bush as well. These rocks are loose and treacherous. Oh, Jesus. Man, these rocks are treacherous. Oh, finally down off that mesa. a little bit more stressful than I was anticipating. I fell a couple of times, had a couple close calls, put them down. So I'm not going back up the other mesa. I don't think that makes any sense. It's very treacherous. Kind of seen the one view. It's not going to be all that much different from the other one. And I've got an hour and a half daylight left. So I'm going to just take a different route up this little saddle here. I was just hoping there'd be a little bit easier path to get down the mountains here. I kind of skirt around for now and just hope I come across the game trail. Surprisingly, I really haven't seen much for game trails. It's been really thick and just not very easy walking. I just fell again right on my ass. I slipped and fell on one of these loose rocks, hit my hand in this cactus. I don't remember any section on this route that I've fallen so much. At this point, it's going to be a challenge just to get down off this hillside before dark. Another hour to go. Got a big old quartz vein here. And there's actually a decent little crystal sticking out there. This area is not suitable for camping. Every night. And then at the last minute I find something. Just kind of waiting for the last minute now, which is rapidly approaching. And for dinner, more town food. Instead of my typical pepperoni and cheese, got chicken strip and cheese. You know, really switching it up here. Didn't really make it down all that far last night from the mesa. Still kind of in the little foothills. This is where I found camp. My goal for this morning is meet up with a series of dirt roads over there that'll take me into the new Water Mountains wilderness. Not very easy path though at this point. This is the second antler shed I found now. The other one was only 2 days ago, basically on the other side of this valley. And this area is just so much more thick than anywhere else along this route. Nowhere else have I been has there been this many trees, green trees. And finally, here's this road. Never thought I'd be so happy to see a road. And this is the Ramsey mine up here in these hills. This area on the map was marked as a water tank. This may have been the old water tank. You can see the black plastic down there, the liner in this berm. It probably held water here in this little area, but not in a long time it hasn't. I think the town of Bouse needs one of these. Keep out if you ain't one of us. If you ain't a senior citizen in a trailer, you don't belong, son. We don't take kindly to you tent folk here in our fine town of Bouse. Bouse. Oh yeah, I haven't taken a bouse yet this morning. Start using that word for crap, because that's what the town of Bouse is. Here's a great perspective at the two mesas and the notch that separates the two. The little saddle I came down last night. It just looks so, you know, just so simple from here. Just nothing about it looks difficult. What a pain that was. A little bit closer to the new Water Mountains now. Scenery is improving. And all of a sudden I'm surrounded by these really cool peaks and formations. Really digging this area. We got a guzzler over here. And this tank's not even have an awning over it or anything like some of these other ones. I bet this one gets filled a little bit more often. Actually, the water quality is not bad at all in this one. It's actually pretty clear. What I'm thinking is it's been so dry they added this. And I bet they have tanker trucks and stuff that come by and fill this up. The normal function of the guzzler would be to funnel water down through this into this tank. And I'm guessing this tank's just dry. I mean, you know, well, wow, actually there's water in here, and this is, it's actually crystal clear, really. Well, they got two guzzlers, two drinkers. Really, this is some of the most clear water I've come across this whole route so far. Not too bad. And here's yet another gate opening and closing mechanism that I've never seen. Truly amazes me how many ways there are to open and close a gate. You know, to create a latch, I guess. Never seen this one. It's wild. Chugged a liter at the guzzler, filled up with 6 liters. Might have a water source tomorrow evening, but it really doesn't look that promising on the map. So, you know, we're talking another, yeah, really 2 full days, I think, at this point before my next water source. So yeah, 6 liters probably isn't enough, but whatever. Yeah, these canyons now are pretty nice. Really digging these canyons. And this fence line here marks the boundary of the new Water Mountains wilderness. Goodbye 4x4s. Hello, solitude. Well, now it's time to leave this wash, and I'm going to climb up into this basin here and bag a peak called Eagle's Eye. I believe there's a big arch up there. And boy, that's a cool little rock formation right there. It'd be weird to see that filled up with water. Kind of like your own little swimming pool, really. Oh, heck yeah. Got some slot canyon action here. Oh, very cool. Surprised to see water back here. I've never seen anything like this along this route yet. Of course, we've got this game camera right here. It's also a game camera, looks like. Another game camera. Mountain lion detection project. People freak out about mountain lions and stuff. Most people go their whole lives without seeing one. I saw 2 in the Wind River Range in Wyoming when I was hiking the CDT in 2018, but chances are I'll go the rest of my life without seeing another one. Something else interesting up here. Nice little pour off there. Nobody climbing up that one, that's for sure. I really do need to climb this way though, so we'll try this way. And we got a cairn. Guess we're on the right path. The Eagle's Eye probably gets some traffic, so I'm guessing this is the route. And this is the other side of the little slot canyon with the water in it. The view from above. See all these potholes here, how much water they might typically hold, how much they could hold, but man, everything's just dry even with the recent rain. There's an arch up there. I guess that's got to be the Eagle's Eye then. Man, this has been the most cryptic route to get up to the top of this thing. It's all these series of these little ridges and washes and stuff that's all hidden in the map because they're just not that big. I have no idea where this route is supposed to go. I'm almost up to the top. I'm just gonna climb up this bit of a rock face here. Below it now, pretty steep here. There's a cool rock formation there. That's kind of what I've climbed up so far. Basically climbed up that cliff down there. Oh wow, that's a view. The colors are just incredible actually from here. The reds and the greens and the contrast. Really haven't seen anything else like that. Hey, bighorn. Run, Forrest, run! Yeah, man, you're safe there, don't worry about it. And in the distance beyond the bighorn sheep, you can see the majestic Interstate 10 and a herd of semi-trucks migrating across the country, bringing the American consumer all of the goods they deserve. Summit register and a little elf here or something. Man, what a cool peak that was. I debated going for it. It's a little out of the way. It's kind of an out and back. Oh, but that one was definitely worth it. Pretty much more of the same this way. More pour-offs, little cliffs. Yeah, not a very straightforward route. I'm down off the climb from Eagle's Eye. We'll be walking the ridgeline tomorrow, but I need to get on the other side of this ridge to at least set myself up for that. This one's easy enough, it's like a staircase. So I've just come down my pass. I've reached the bottom of the drainage here. So I'm gonna be looking for a spot to camp. I think my best bet's just gonna be to dip down in this drainage and then see if I can get a spot down there in the wash. And of course there's nothing in the wash either. Maybe if I clear out some of these rocks. So last night's camp worked out all right. The wind died down, which was great. But it's gonna pick up today. The clouds are moving in. They're starting moving pretty quickly. And you can already see some of the mountain peaks and everything over there just kind of getting obscured by the clouds over there and stuff. So that's all moving this way. And now my plan is to walk up to the top of the ridgeline, bag hidden benchmark, and then do some ridge walking up here before dropping down. I should have time to do that before the storm moves in. It's supposed to rain tonight. I want to work my way around this. Now I got this cholla forest here to deal with. It's not what I want to see. New Water Mountains. Don't hear much about these. It's a really cool desert environment, so. Oh man, these rock formations are awesome. The forces, you know, at play that must have caused these rocks to twist and stuff like this. Fascinating. Look at this. It's a 180 there. You know, how cool is that? I think I've got another maybe 300 foot to go up to the top of hidden benchmark, which is hidden, I guess. Cholla obstacle course here. It's like playing Operation. You screw up, these choyas are gonna operate on you. I can't even get to the summit. I'm just dumbfounded by these views. This is outstanding. All right, the summit, hidden benchmark. What a massive view. Oh, wow. Just incredible. You know, I don't even have the words anymore to just say how awesome it is. I just hope the camera can do it some justice. Jeez. So there is a summit register up here, and there are very few entries. This was placed in 1987. So you've got an entry from 91, 92, '96, 96, 2007. So it went 11 years in between summits. I guess that's why they call it hidden benchmark. It's so hidden, nobody summits it. So you're looking at 7 or 8 summits in like 25 years. It's just a surreal feeling to kind of look back over everything I've walked over the last 6 or 7 weeks or whatever it's been now, 6 weeks. You know, when I first started this trip, it just sounded so absurd, really. And here I am just a few days from the end of it, but I guess it just goes to show you that, you know, you can dream big, and it's just a matter of taking that first step and committing to it. And, you know, you can do some pretty amazing things if you just commit to it, you know. And now I've got a minefield of cholla to work my way through. Follow this ridgeline. Bighorn sheep right there. Been on the top of the hill. Just kind of scared him up. Oh, he's staring at me. What are you gonna do, boy? Valley down here is called the Ranegras Plain. Soon enough I'll be leaving this ridgeline, then I'll be working my way down into the valley below. This one, 40-foot vertical, pretty sheer on this one. Might have to go up and over this thing again. And I'm at the point now where it's more effort than it's worth to follow the ridgeline. So I think it's time to drop down into the wash, head out the canyon there, and get back down into the lowlands for a while. Just stopped for a break, was eating lunch, looked down, I had a tick on my leg. So the second tick I've had, I actually had one last week in the Plamosa Mountains. This wash has been incredibly easy to walk, really nice change of pace. Bighorn skull, so big boy. Horns are long gone, but man, this guy was a beast. So I've left the new Water Mountains wilderness, and now I've entered the Kofa National Wildlife Refuge, managed by the Fish and Wildlife Service. 665,000 acres, and of that, about 550,000 our wilderness, which makes this Arizona's second largest wilderness. Massive, massive area. And the reason why I chose to end this hike here in Kofa is because there's really no way to go further south from here without road walking, and really don't have any interest in that. The Kofa National Wildlife Refuge kind of sits within a U-shaped plot of land that's owned by the U.S. government. It's the Yuma Proving Grounds. It's a military base. So there's really no way to get past that unless I'm going to road walk Highway 95, which I have no interest in doing. And because it's surrounded by the proving grounds, every now and then you can hear bombs dropping and stuff across the way there. And you just hear the rumble in the distance. Following this wash for a ways. It's time to leave that now and just make a path across this open section of desert here. That's roughly what I'm heading for. There's a cabin right there. I think it's called the Kofa Cabin. So that's what I'm headed for at the moment. There's also a well over there. I don't know what it is about walking the open desert, but I've always been drawn to the idea of it. What most people see is barren, harsh, you know, maybe a wasteland. Sometimes it is. Sometimes it isn't. Nevertheless, what others won't touch, there you are, setting your own course across it. Coyote skull here. Chomp chomp. And right there's the well I saw on the map. That windmill's, you know, moving pretty good. Pretty sure it's gonna have water. That thing looks functional from here. Water's pumping from this into this tank. Okay, it goes underground. There's a fence over here. What do we got? What do we got here? Ah, shaded. That's why I couldn't see it from satellite. The water really ain't the greatest though. Once you dip your bottle in there, sometimes it comes out a little bit more clear than you'd think. Actually not too bad. There we go, that worked pretty good. So I had 3 liters of water. I took 2 with me. Didn't filter it yet though. There's a cabin that's like half a mile away. I'm gonna check out that cabin. I filter the water there. Hoping the cabin is suitable to spend the night at. I've heard there's a couple cabins here in the Kofa Wilderness that are intact enough to sleep in. It's gonna be really windy tonight and it's supposed to rain. It was supposed to cloud up around 1 p.m. It's going on 3 now. Might be pushed back a little bit, but I hate windy nights. And if it's gonna be 25-mile-an-hour winds tonight or more, the tent's just gonna be whipping and I won't be able to sleep a wink. So this cabin could really work out. Here's the cabin. Thing looks pretty solid. The Civilian Conservation Corps constructed the Kofa Cabin. The east side of this 2-room basalt stone cabin is open to the public to visit and camp overnight on a first come, first served basis. Well, moment of truth. Let's see what this thing looks like. Oh, heck yeah. Oh, wow. Check this out, too. Fast Eddie's 65th birthday bash. Fast Eddie. Oh. Heck yeah, man. This is more than far more than I was expecting. He even got a wood-burning stove. This is incredible. Definitely spending the night here. It's 3 p.m. now. This will be my earliest camp along the whole route for sure, but there's no way I'm passing up this cabin. Well, we might as well take inventory of what I've got on hand. Oh wait, lemon blackberry? Hard seltzer, full. Coors Light, full. Keystone Light, full. Got 3 beers to drink tonight if I want to. So we've got this lamp oil and the toe strap, and then somebody has put the two together and, you know, made a light out of it. So no other light source in here, no candles or anything. So might end up going with that tonight. Got some food here, macaroni and cheese, tomato sauce. You can eat that straight out of the can. Hey, a Capri Sun. Put all the beverages together. Actually, I think I might go to town on some of these, not even gonna lie. So up on the shelf back there, got 1 bottle of water, and then there was 3 of these Propel lemon blackberry waters. And these are actually pretty good. So, plus I've got the 2.5 liters of water I still have in my backpack. So I'm gonna dump this. I don't need this. It's another benefit of this cabin is that it comes with beverages that aren't this water. Well, it's 5 o'clock, so time for an alcoholic beverage. How's that for a label? Should have used the Fast Eddie's 65th birthday koozie, but let's check out the sunset. Sit out on the porch. There was a tiny bit of wood left next to the stove, so I threw that in there. Have myself a little fire, warm this place up a little bit. It's just an unbelievable luxury, you know, compared to everything I've been through for the last 6 weeks. You know, it's just incredible. I'm gonna sleep good tonight. Man, is it cold this morning. Oh man, this is the coldest it's been this whole route. It sure was windy. I was really glad to have that cabin. You're not going to believe this, but there's another cabin about 20 miles away, so perfect distance, and I should be able to reach that cabin this afternoon and have a second cabin, which is pretty unbelievable. As nice as that cabin was last night, I'm kind of looking forward to a second cabin. And then from there, I'll have 2 more nights out in the wilderness to finish up this hike and then hit some of the best stuff in Kofa. So the name Kofa for the Kofa Wilderness is kind of an interesting one. The name Kofa is actually an acronym. It's K of A is what it actually stands for, and that's King of Arizona. And it's named after a mine, one of the largest mines, I guess, in this area. It's called the King of Arizona mine. It was operated from late 1880s to 1910, and then sporadically to 1937 or so. It was a high-grade gold ore mine, along with a lot of other interesting minerals. So this area, this mountain range, has a lot of mining history. And that's probably why there's this big network of roads that run through here. And technically, on this side of the road is wilderness, and on this side of the road is wilderness, but this road is not. So. Well, this is starting to get a little bit more impressive. So this is an area marked in the map as Wilkinson Seep. I mean, you could certainly dip your bottle in there and collect. I don't know how quickly this thing would fill up, but there's probably a couple of liters here. I know there's another well right by the cabin that I'm going for later. So I'm gonna shoot for that. I'm gonna let this be. I've got 2.5 liters on me now, so I don't need this. And the walk this morning has been fairly boring, but I'm noticing now just all this grass, this dried grass and everything up on these hillsides. I really haven't seen a whole lot of this kind of thing. There's the windmill, there's the awning, so it's going to be the awning over the trough, just like the design of the last one, I suppose. And both these cabins have a well right next to it. Kind of makes sense. Kind of surprised, you know, the well is still producing water though after all these years, because a lot of times these wells dry up. You know, I mean, this is almost a 100-year-old well now, 90 something year old well. Oh wow, the water's actually crystal clear in this one, despite all the crap growing on the top of it. Yeah, and that's definitely more clear than the stuff from yesterday. A rare moment where I'm actually filtering water. All topped off with about 5.5 liters of water. I think about a half mile from the cabin now. This is the Wilbanks Cabin. Not a good sign, the front door's wide open on this one. The Wilbanks Cabin was home to the family of the same name who arrived in 1931 to establish a cattle ranch. The public is welcome to spend the night in the cabin and experience the dream. Oh, the dream, eh? I was hoping this one would be a little bit better condition. You know, you can see right through the walls. A little peephole there. A little pile of turds by the bed. Rodents are going to be calling this one home for sure. For some reason I was expecting it to be kind of the same style of cabin as the one from last night. I think the mice are going to be bothering me tonight. Yeah, it's just crap everywhere in the sink. I mean, look at that. Jeez. But I think I'll be alright on these beds, you know. I mean, they're up off the floor. I don't think they're going to scurry up the little legs and everything to get on top of the bed so much. Should kind of keep them at bay. That's my thought. I've got my OP sacks for my food, the odor-proof bags, so I'm not too worried about my food. So I'm going to spend the night here. I've got 2.5 days left in this hike. I don't need to cover any more miles today to be able to reach my end point on Saturday. Today's Wednesday, so I got Thursday and Friday. I wish the cabin was in a little bit better shape, but hey, like the sign said, the cabin's open to live the dream yourself, so I think I'm gonna do that tonight and see if I don't get eaten alive by rodents. It's time for dinner. Basically just trying to eat, and then as soon as the sun goes down, get in the sleeping bag, because it's already cold as hell. It's probably gonna be one of the coldest nights on this trip so far. I got a little bit of sunset colors, a little bit of reds. Windmill has stopped windmilling for the day, and it is cold. I think that's it for me. I need to get in my sleeping bag and try and get warm. Oh man, what a miserable night. It's one of the most miserable nights I can remember in a long time. 22 degrees inside that cabin. My sleeping bag's rated for 40. I don't have winter gear out here. I've just got like summer stuff. I've got no fleece, no puffy. It's just a freezing night, shivering the whole night. I took my trash compactor bag, the inside liner from my backpack, and wrapped that around my feet. And I was just shivering the whole night. Barely got any sleep. Rat bastards running around in the ceiling. And now I'm just trying to get the warmth back in my hands to even just pack up and leave. My water turned to slush. I don't even want to drink it, it's so cold. So I've got 2 full days and 1 half day left. The half day is going to be spent basically just kind of walking out to the main road to get my ride. So I've got 2 full days to play with. It's sort of a weird feeling because I'm just essentially killing time, but what I'm really trying to do is just, you know, make the best use out of this time that I can and see some scenic things along the way, and maybe just not be in the biggest hurry to cover a ton of miles, which isn't the worst thing in the world. Top of this little pass. It's kind of a lot of effort to make progress today off trail. The route's been a little cryptic. A lot of these little rolling hills to me are just really hard to navigate. You get big landmark features, it's easy to, you know, pick your path, but little rolling hills and stuff, it's always a little challenging. Ow! Now I'm kind of working my way up to the top of this little basin. Really nice peaks here. What I think I'm going to do is walk my way up to the top of this ridgeline here. It's a little bit out of the way, but I'll just follow this. I think it'll give me a nice view, and then take me down to right over there, which is essentially where I'm going to drop down into the next canyon. And dodge the cholla now. Now these are some fine views, excellent vistas. I kind of want to work my way up here and get up to the top of that just for the view. I think that'll give me a nice view of everything I've got in front of me. And for lunch, you guessed it, same crap I eat every day. It's nice to be able to eat something though and just not get sick of it. You know, you hear a lot of people on these long distance hikes that get sick of eating whatever they're eating, you know, whether it be tortillas or ramen or whatever. And for whatever reason, I can just shovel this shit down and continue to do it day after day, and it really doesn't get old to me. Find something you like, run with it. Whoops. There's a summit walk right there. Woo! Oh man, that is a wicked echo. I spent way too much time up on this ridgeline, just hanging out, eating lunch, bagging some random peak. Now it's time to make some progress. Well, now it's time to descend this ridgeline. There was a nice little game trail for like 100 feet. In we go. Oh, oh, jeez. And this canyon is thick. Guess it's back down into the wash. So in the Wilbanks Cabin, there was a list of the rules and regulations for the Kofa Wilderness and the National Wildlife Refuge. Just a big list of activities kind of rattled off. Rock hounding, not permitted. Target shooting, not permitted. Geocaching, not permitted. Just big list of things, right? And then you get down to stargazing. And I'm like, come on, you're gonna tell me stargazing's not permitted? Like, how are you but then it says, you know, permitted, right? But it's just funny that they specifically list stargazing. Like, we'll let you look at the stars, but you know, don't count too many of them, you know? Stargazing is strictly prohibited under the Wilderness Act of 1967. Violations punishable by up to $1,000 per star gazed upon and 6 months in prison. And of course, it's a field of cholla. So that's it for that canyon, the unnamed canyon. Incredible. I love the unnamed canyons. It really impress. It always cracks me up, you know, it's not even worthy of a name. Speaking of worthy of a name, this canyon here that I'm now entering, you're not even going to believe it. It's named Big Dick Canyon. Big Dick Canyon. So let's go enter Big Dick Canyon. At the entrance of Big Dick Canyon, we have this thing. I've never seen anything like this before. Got like a little drain in there. Rainwise, okay, it's a water collection device. Measure rainfall. Okay then, Big Dick Canyon is full of all sorts of surprises. Here's a little bit better look at King Valley and then the Castle Dome Range. It's crazy, it doesn't look, you know, 25 miles or whatever it is away. It's a long ways. It's a lot further away than it looks. The lower part of this canyon has been surprisingly easy to walk. Now it's time to kind of leave the main part of it and head up, I guess, this little side canyon you could call it, and that's going to be my route up and over the crest. And I think that's going to be where the challenge lies. It's going to be like a 700-foot climb. Well, the easy part of the climb is done. Now I'm left with the steep ascent with all this thick shit. It's so thick I can't even see if it's anything to stand on, if there's a big hole here or what. Those are thorn bushes. Oh, jeez. I'm bleeding now. As I get closer to the top, there's been this game trail that stays out of the wash, which is much easier to follow. And here's the top of my little pass. Pretty nice view. Pretty nice. My plan now is to walk this ridgeline a little bit and then drop down the valley below. Oh yeah, this is a nice ridgeline. Super jagged. Man, this is nice. ridgeline is outstanding. Sun's going down fast though. Need to find a place to camp. Man, this is just, I don't even have the words for it, man. Sometimes you just can't even believe where you're standing. And there's that arch I saw from below the ridgeline. Better go check that out. That is cool. Well, I'd really like to set up my tent for the warmth, just for the few extra degrees, you know, it'll provide. But honestly, at this point, I'm just so entranced by this ridgeline. I'm kind of okay with just cowboy camping up here and freezing my ass off like I did last night. I say that now, but you know, either way, I think it's gonna be a cold night. Might as well get a cool view out of it, you know, in the morning. There's also been a fair amount of caves, more like little overhangs. Kind of hoping I can find one that faces east so I get the sun on me in the morning. If I can find that and it's, you know, flat and level and all that, that might be my cowboy camping spot. And this spot could almost work. It's not very flat, you know? It's kind of curved. It'd be great for sleeping on your back, but you know, when you want to turn over and sleep on your side, I don't know. But boy, the view. Jeez. I don't know if this can be beat. 3 bighorns down there. Might have taken their camp spot. Man, sunset never ends. I'm not complaining. Man, is it a good one. Yeah, I just shuffled some dirt around with my feet, you know. I think it's gonna work. It's gonna be my campsite. Cowboy camp. Right here in this cliff. Are you kidding me? This is one of the coolest places I've ever camped. See how the night works out. And you know, it just couldn't come at a better time. Second to the last night. So meaningful to me to end a hike on such a good note. We got a full moon tonight. That's kind of nice. A little night light for me. So throughout this hike and other long hikes I've done, people I meet sometimes ask, you know, why do you do this? You know, why would you walk? You know, why wouldn't you just drive or take a dirt bike or something? And it's like, you're not going to get this kind of view, this kind of experience unless you walk. And you've got to put in the hard work to get to these kind of places. There's no substitute for it, you know? And then people ask, you know, how can you afford to do it? And I say, how can you afford not to? I can't imagine living my whole life without moments like this. I don't know. To me, it's just the epitome of living life. These moments right here. Man, how's this for a morning view? Been watching the sunrise and just hit these mountains, watching them start to glow. Now I'm just waiting for the sun to come up over that little peak there, hit me, warm me up a little bit, get me moving. It was dead silent all night, super comfortable the first half, gorgeous night. The stars were out. I would have got a stargazing ticket. The Fish and Wildlife Service saw me. Well, last night's camp served me well. Time to get a move on though today. Walk this ridgeline for a bit before dropping down into Hoodoo Wash. Oh, here's another little overhang, which could have worked last night too. I don't think I like the other one better. And it is cold this morning. I barely feel my hands in this wind. Ridgeline was incredible, but man is it cold. It's time to drop down and get out of that wind. So I mentioned stargazing out here, and how it's kind of a fine line. You don't want to be watching too many stars without a permit, stargazing permit. Other thing you got to watch out for is illegal bird watching operations. You don't want to stumble across those guys out here. You might never be found. If you watch another man's bird, it's the quickest way to get a dirt nap. And this here's called Squaw Tank. One of the few good reliable water sources. To walk all the way down there, but yeah, there's a huge pool there, bunch of it there, bunch of water there. H20 for the taking. This water looks fairly good, despite the big dead frog down there. That little white belly right there is a frog. Pretty good water clarity. Good water source. So today's my last full day of hiking. Just filled up at my last water source. And now it's just knocking off all those lasts on the list, you know? You know, in Nevada, in the Mojave section, there's pretty much no bushwhacking. It's just open desert and stuff, but in the Sonoran, yeah, it's getting a little old at this point. You know, it's not too bad. It's not constant like some of the stuff I did in central Nevada last year, but I am ready for this to be over. Oh, man. Now this is more like central Nevada. I did this for miles upon miles. Really good at avoiding these, but this one got me. Shit. It's out of my skin now. I just can't get out of the pant leg. And now this is the wilderness boundary. But of course I'm not gonna end the hike without going out with a little bit of a bang. I've got one more surprise up my sleeve here. Just gotta walk another mile or so to get to the base of it. That's what I'm talking about. That guy barely even slowed down. It's kind of crazy. How many of these 4x4 guys just blow right by you without even bothering to slow down at all? Especially when it's dusty out too. It really bothers me. Haven't really had to deal with too many 4x4 people on this trip. Kind of the reason why I like to stay in wilderness areas, though. You don't have to deal with any motorized traffic. And this is 10U Canyon. And this is the route up to Signal Peak, which is the high point in the Kofa Wilderness. One of the highest points along my entire route. Not the highest point, but it'll be my way to end this hike on a high note. Climb's gonna be roughly 2,000 feet. And right now, it looks quite challenging. I've already lost the cairns. Now I'm just following the route that I drew. I think eventually I'll probably meet up with it. But for now, I'm just doing my own thing. And I believe now the route goes up that canyon right there. All right, here we go. Here's some cairns. There's one there and one there. Guess I should have taken this little chute here. I took the roundabout way. But yeah, I could use the exercise. It's not like I haven't been doing any hiking or anything in the last 6 weeks. Halfway decent trail to follow now. It's not like it's a trail on the map or anything. It's kind of like a half game trail, half climber's trail, I guess. So I've been climbing my way up the middle of this canyon. Just got up to this point and stumbled upon an even better trail. So this whole time I was just kind of bushwhacking my way up. Now I've got this to follow. Kind of approaching the steepest part of the climb too, I believe now. Oh, there's so many little game trails. It's impossible to know if I'm on, you know, the right path or not, or if I'm just kind of following some random game path. I mean, they all lead uphill. It's just, you know, which one's the easiest? None of them really. I've just climbed up the steepest section. I've still got another pretty steep section ahead. I've got another 1,000 foot to go. Even with all the hard work of climbing up here, I'm sweating, but it's freezing. It is cold. Well, I found the route again. It's just easy to lose it. Once you lose it, it's just, you're on your own. And that's the final ridge line there. And that'll be the summit of Signal Peak right there. About 300 feet to go. I did mention it's cold, right? There's some frozen water here. All right, this is the top of the ridge. Wow, that is a view. Right? Hell yeah, what a view. Wow. This is just incredible. Wow. Unbelievable. What a way to end this hike. Whoa! I was looking back where I started today. You can see Squaw Peak sticking up there. So I would have been on the ridgeline on the other side of that. Man, what a cool mountain range. The Signal Peak summit is 10 feet above me there. I'm just trying to get a little windbreak. Enjoy the view. Eat a little food. Give me the energy I need to get down off this thing. Enjoying my last high point. Tomorrow it'll all be over. Most of the descent now is going to be in the shade, which is bad news for me because it was cold going up, even in the sunlight. Signal Peak was first climbed in the early 1900s by a local rancher who noticed early on the abundance of cell phone signal he had up on the top. Fact or fiction? You decide. Oddly enough, I had no cell phone signal on the top of that peak, despite the name. Oh. So I would say the upper part of the climb is, more straightforward. The route is easier to follow. And then the middle and lower sections is where it got a little bit cryptic. And I'm on a trail now. I feel like, I don't know if I followed this trail on the way up. I might have been down a little bit lower, kind of bushwhacking and stuff, but this is a good trail for the moment. Oh man, there was a bighorn sheep literally right here. I was like 20 feet away from it at most. Yeah, there he is down there. Where are you going, bud? So the good trail I was following led me to where I am now, but last time I was on the other side of this ridgeline here, this outcrop of rocks. I don't think I was on the right path at all. The route down already looks a little bit better. Everything was really thick over there, at least for now. This is just steep and loose, and not also steep, loose, and thick. It's a killer combo. Whoa. Help if I had some tread left in my shoes. But I don't. She gone. Yeah, I walked my way through all this thick stuff last time, and I was just a few feet away, really. Looks like the trail goes down the nose of this ridge. The trail's actually been pretty good. So I retract everything I said on the way up. It's kind of user error. That's pretty much it for the descent. Another, 150 feet or whatever down to the valley floor. And the descent took about an hour, about half the time as it took me to get up there. So I'm pretty happy with that. Beating the onset of darkness here, giving me a little bit of time to get to my campsite tonight. And the place I'd like to camp at tonight, I'm hoping no one's there, but it's a place called Skull Rock, and it really looks like a skull. There's like 2 big eyes and a mouth and everything. So it'd be kind of nice to have that all in myself. Be a pretty cool campsite for my last evening, I think. Well, I just walked by Skull Rock and there was like 4 people camping there, car camping. It's a Friday night, I was kind of expecting it. It's a real bummer, I was really hoping for that to work out on my last night. Now I'm kind of looking for an alternate plan. But not all that far away is this rock. I'm kind of scoping that for tonight's campsite and maybe Cowboy camping that bad boy. I think it's a pretty killer view just as well. So instead of taking the campsite up high on the other side of this rock, there's a lower one here. It's a little bit better protected from the wind. It's no Skull Rock. It's still pretty badass. And then tomorrow, I'm really set up for my route, which basically just goes right up over that pass into Four Palms Canyon. Oh, it's gonna be another cold night. It's gonna be in the low 30s, I think, maybe even colder. Last night's campsite served me well, but now it's time to finish up this hike. Got about 11 miles to go to the finish line. I'm headed for this notch up there. It'll be my pass, drop me down into Four Palms Canyon. Wow, you get around this big pillar in the foreground. There's another one right behind it. This climb's been a little more work than I thought. Almost there though. And I'm just right below the pass now. Here's the top of my pass. Now I'm looking down into Four Palms Canyon. And then out there is Highway 95, where I'll end my hike. And finally now the end is in sight. What a feeling that is. Man, the rock formations in this area, the Kofa range, are just outstanding. It's like the perfect mesh of, just jagged mountain landforms with desert. It's just beautiful. When I woke up this morning, I knew it was my last day, but it really takes a little while for that to set in, you know? And now I'm feeling it. This canyon is incredible. Kind of wish I would have camped here last night. Wouldn't have made it in time, but this would have been one hell of a place to spend my last night, although I really can't complain about last night's campsite. It was pretty great on its own. It's the thing, there's just so many great places here. Way more than I was expecting. Definitely a fitting way to end this hike in a spectacular place like this. And the canyon's coming to an end here pretty soon and giving way to the plains below. Pretty much the end of Four Palms Canyon. And now I'm going to be exiting the canyon, entering the open desert. And even though I've got a couple more hours of walking to get to the highway, I think in many ways leaving this canyon behind is kind of the end of this hike for me. I don't know how you hike through this kind of terrain without it just moving you in some way. But that's why I do these long hikes, because there's really no other part of life where you feel this alive, this many emotions all at once. You're just kind of torn in every direction at once. Happy, sad, accomplished, excited, empowered, humbled. And to me, I couldn't envision any better way to end it, kind of coming through this incredible, majestic canyon. These symbolic pillars guarding the entrance to this incredible canyon that now give way to my last open desert trek to the highway just a few miles away. And this is Palm Canyon Road. It leads out to the highway. So now I'm on the road and road walked the rest of the way to the highway. And now this is where the real reflection begins. It was about 2.5 months ago when I kind of got the idea to do this hike. I texted a buddy of mine and I said, hey, do you think I could put together a through hike from scratch in a week? Map it out, plan it, everything. He just texted back, he said no, period. That's it. I said, all right, well, I'm gonna do it anyway. It actually took me about 2 weeks to plan this hike. And on this hike, I saw hikers on day 2, and I saw a few hikers yesterday, and that was it. Those are the only hikers I saw on this route. I definitely grew my skill set on this hike, become a lot more confident with water, carrying water, finding water, going long periods without water, and canyoneering, non-technical canyoneering, kind of reading the maps and knowing what to expect when you get there, and knowing what's possible and how to climb up and down hundreds and hundreds of pour-offs, and just being confident in doing those kind of things with no information on it. So it's been a real adventure. And those are some of the big lessons I think I took away from this one. And if nothing else, I hope it at least inspires you to take on whatever it is you dream of. I'm just a half mile from the highway now, Highway 95. And there's no monument here at the end of this hike like the CDT. But I've got my friend drove here from Phoenix to pick me up, and he might have a little something for me. My ride has arrived.
You look like you're lost. You need a hamburger, grass.
Wow, there really are cheeseburgers at the end of the rainbow.
Yeah, there are. Well, there you go. That's what was in the fridge hanging out.
Oh, nice.
Bubbles.
All right, well, 600 miles hiked over 46 days. Only one way to celebrate, a little bit of champagne and a cheeseburger. I was expecting pour out of that. McDonald's cheeseburger, champagne.
From the Trader Joe's region. How's it taste?
A true hiker trash celebration. To the burgers! That's right, get to the hamburgers faster!